Welcome to another Millionaire Profit Systems production. In internet marketing, one of the big struggles that people have is with organization. Let's face it, you have information overload. You have private label rights files, master resale rights files, you've got resale rights files, you've got the products you buy, products you create, you've got WordPress themes, passwords, login IDs, domain names, URLs, everything. There's so much that you need to know and keep on top on. And unfortunately for a lot of us, and myself included, we really struggle with actually getting organised and keeping on top of things. I mean, let's face it, most internet marketers, you go and look at their hard drive, it will be a complete mess of files, with files that here, there, and absolutely everywhere. And worse still is you could buy a product, save it to your hard drive, and then a couple of months later you see it for sale and think, oh, I'll have that. Can't find it because you're not organised, and you buy it again. Now, I've done that myself, and I know a lot of other people that have done it. You end up spending money you really don't need to spend simply because your organisation and your filing system is poor. We've all done it, and those marketers that really succeed are those that have organised themselves. They know what they're doing, they know where things are, and they have the information at the tips of their fingers when they need it. Now, if you are not organised, you're going to struggle to make money and succeed. Let's face it, if you cannot find your passwords, your IDs, or your files, you're going to be spending your valuable time not working, but looking for that information. And that is going to make it very hard for you to actually succeed. So by being organised, you have much more chance of succeeding because you're going to be able to focus better, because you're not concentrating on trying to find things. You can concentrate on work, and you'll have more time because you'll be spending less time messing around looking for things and more time building your online business. It's going to make you an incredibly productive person, and you're going to find that you can get a lot more done in a lot less time because you know where things are and you know what to do with them, which is going to make a big difference to you. Now, firstly, go and create a folder on your computer for internet marketing. Now, you probably have a lot of stuff already there. It may or may not be filed to some degree, I don't know. But create a folder and give it a name like My Internet Marketing Business or IM Business or something like that that's fairly obvious. You know what it is. Now, from this day forth, everything to do with internet marketing goes in there. Absolutely everything. Everything you already own, you're going to file over the next week or so. Take some time and just copy everything in there, delete the unwanted stuff, put it all in that folder so everything is in one place and you know where it all is. So underneath here, you're going to create other categories. So you're going to have like PLR, Master Resale Rights, My Products, My WSOs, Private Label Rights Articles, My Websites, etc. So you create folders for your different categories, and then within there you create other folders. So I might have a folder for PLR, and in there I might have PLR articles, I might have PLR books, audio, video, and so on. And by creating it into these folders, I'm really helping myself because I can very easily, I say, right, I want a PLR video course. I know exactly where to go on my computer to find that PLR video course. I'm not spending an hour clicking through various folders thinking, have I saved it here? No, maybe it's over here. Whatever. I know exactly where it is. So I can go straight there, grab the video course I want and get on with my work. And it makes my time a lot more useful. So if I've only got 2 hours tonight to spend on my business, if I spent an hour of that looking for a video course, I've just half the amount of time I've got to spend on it. So it's very important that you really organise yourself like this. So then basically everything you ever download, it goes into an appropriate folder. Whatever it is, just put it in the right folder and then you know where it is. Now you can leave them as zip files. I mean, that might help you zip them up, or depending again on how much disk space you've got, or you might want to expand everything so that everything is unzipped and you can see everything on your hard drive. It's entirely up to you as to what will work best for you. Now this way you're actually going to be able to find things, and you will notice it's going to make a huge difference to your level of productivity because you're not going to be messing around, searching around for stuff and running around in circles is going to make a massive, massive difference to you. Now, another top tip for organisation: grab yourself a pen and some paper and make notes. Write to-do lists, write things down to organise yourselves, and so on. I mean, I love having pens and paper around. I make notes. I have a pad and I make notes each day in it. And if I'm studying a subject, I'll make specific notes and they will then get filed somewhere out of the way where I can refer to them in the future if I need to. Now, the big mistake people make, of course, here is they scribble and they end up with their computer covered in post-it notes and a huge pile of paper. That's not going to work. You've got to have a filing system behind it. So by all means, make notes. Leave notes for yourself on what to do next to your computer on post-it notes. Once they're done, you take them down, you remove them, and you actually make sure you do them. And that's going to really, really help you. But another top tip, and this is perhaps one of my favourites and one of the most powerful things you will ever hear, is to actually have a plan. Now, most people decide, I'm going to get into internet marketing. They get online, they dabble with Amazon marketing, dabble with affiliate marketing, might create their own product, maybe create an AdSense site, something like that. They've got no idea where they're going. They've got no idea what they're doing. Now, if you were to go to a bank offline and say, I want to start a business, the first thing they'll say is, where's your business plan? If you turn around to them and say, well, I haven't got one, they will laugh at you as they throw you out of the building. And you won't get any funding from them. They won't be interested. And this is how people approach internet marketing. They don't approach it as a serious business. They simply start piffling around and dabbling online, and suddenly 6 months later they found they spent thousands of dollars and they're nowhere closer to their goals. They haven't made any money. They've got lots of half-done websites and no clue what they're doing. You've got to get yourself a plan, and with a plan you know where you are, you know where you're going to, and most importantly, you know how you are going to get there. So, you've got to create yourself a proper plan. Now, I would literally write it like a business plan. Go and get one of the business plan templates. Go into your local bank, ask them for one of their business plan kits. Most banks will give you one. They have these startup guides for businesses, and in it will have software or templates for writing a business plan. You can also find them online on various places, and you could just literally create yourself a business plan. But what you want to do is, from your business plan, you want to determine your goals over the next year. So you're earning, say, $0 a day today. In a year's time, where do you want to be? Now, you might say, well, I want to be on $1 million a day. Let's ask yourself, is that realistic in the next year? Yes or no? Probably not for most of us. But being at a position in a year's time where you're on $100 a day, that's incredibly doable. Being in a position where you're earning $500 a day, you could probably do that, or even $1,000 if you really pushed yourself. Only you know, of course, how much you can achieve by how much time you have and how much resources you have. If you've got lots of money behind you and you can afford to invest money, then obviously you can speed things up by hiring people to do a lot of the work for you. If you're more cash strapped, you are going to have to do more of the work on your business. So determine your goals over the next year. Where do you want to be in 1 year's time? Again, pen and paper, it's your friend. Write it down. Then break your goals down into monthly tasks and goals. What do you need to do every single month to hit those yearly goals? What goals have you got each month? So you might say, right, at the end of this month, I want 4 websites set up and getting 100 visitors a day. Simple. You've got a task. You can break that down into, right, this week I'll create 1 website, next week another, the week after another, and so on. Then break your monthly goals down into weekly tasks. So I want to create 4 websites, so it's 1 website a week. So this week I've got to create a website. So I'll break that down into, I want to create 1 website this week. And then I can break that down further by every Sunday, plan your week's activities. So, right, I've got to set up a website. So Monday, register the domain name, set up the website, install WordPress, etc., etc. On Tuesday, write the first 3 articles, get the 3 articles on there scheduled over the next few days. On Wednesday, start doing some SEO. Thursday, more SEO, add another article, and so on. You plan your week's activities, and that way, every day, you know exactly what you have to do. There's no sitting there going, what am I going to do today? Not sure what I'm going to do today. I don't know. I'm going to do some of this. You can pick up your piece of paper, look at your plan, and go, right, it's Monday. I've got to register a domain name, install WordPress, configure a theme. Right, done. And you get that done. And you're going to be incredibly productive because you know what you're doing. Now, on top of this, what could help you is every night to plan your next day's activities. Now, this depends on how much time you have. If you've only got a couple of hours, it's going to be quick. But you know, some people have a lot more time on their hands. So what you could benefit from is instead you say, right, 8, 9 o'clock, you finish work, you sit down and go, right, what have I got to do tomorrow? And you just check your week's activities and break down exactly what you need to do tomorrow. So you've got a to-do list effectively for tomorrow. And then when you wake up, you can just tick, tick, tick through the to-do list. Now, what I recommend is every to-do list is going to have one item on it that you think, I really don't want to do that. It's going to be the item that you'll procrastinate about, you'll put off, you'll ignore, and really, really try your best not to do. So what you need to do is do that first. Don't put it off. Get up in the morning, get to your desk, sit down and go, right, get it done. Once you've done that, it's plain sailing for the rest of the day. You've done the hard thing, everything else is easy. And that's the way you do it. Always tackle the hardest problems first, because that way you're going to be much more feeling more free, I think is the right way to put it, for the rest of the day. You're not going to be struggling, you're not going to be sitting there procrastinating, finding things to do other than do that job you're trying to avoid. Get it out of the way first, and then the next day, after that, you're free. You're free to get on with all the other stuff, and you'll find that the other stuff will be much more pleasurable. And getting into that habit will really, really help you to be a lot more productive. Now, what you can also do is on the last day of a month or the first day of the month, plan what you're going to do for the following month. So you know, again, exactly what you want to achieve that month. So I've already got my monthly goals. I'm planning a bit more into what I need to do each week. And then each week I can break it down further. And this level of planning is going to help you to be so much more organized, because you're going to be able to focus your activities with real laser-like precision. Now, for those of us that have busy lives, we don't have a lot of time. You've got to be this organized, because you can sit down, there's no umming and ahhing and thinking, I can't remember what I was going to do, I'll go and do this, I'll go and play this, I'll go and mess around and do this, that and the other. You can sit down and go, right, build links, and off you go building links. You can even specify, like, create a Web 2.0 site, create this, do that, do the other, 10 blog comments, 10 EDU comments, whatever it might be. And then you know exactly what you're doing and go, right, okay, 10 sites, let's go, bang, 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 and it's done. And for those of us that are time poor, that's going to help you an awful lot, because you're going to maximize the effectiveness of your working time, which means you'll get an awful lot more done. Now, those people that don't have these plans, you will find them as the ones that are still going round in circles in sort of a year or 2 years' time, because they haven't really got anywhere. They sit down, they don't get much done every night because they don't know what they're doing. So sit and plan and organise yourself. It's going to make a massive, massive difference to how quickly you succeed. Now, here's another one that we all do. How many people have pages and pages of favourites and no idea where anything is? You can't find it. Do you remember a few minutes ago we talked about organising your files on your hard drive? Guess what? Do exactly the same with your favourites. Create folders, create subfolders, organise your favourites, save them in the right place, and you know what? It's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. You'll be able to very quickly go straight to a website you need to, and none of that scrolling through pages trying to work out which website it was. You know exactly where you are, exactly what you're doing. Now, I'd also recommend keeping a log of your passwords and your IDs. You could do this in a text document on your computer. You could do it in a secure password-protected Word document. You can do it on a tool like RoboForm or one of these password keepers or anything like that, whatever it might be. But keep a log of them and keep track of them, because it's very easy to end up spending hours trying to get your password back and trying to reset it and work out which email address you've used and trying to find that, and it's a waste of your time. Everything we're doing here is trying to really streamline your working time so that you are highly efficient. It means that you get a lot more done, spend less time procrastinating, and you'll get to your goals an awful lot quicker. Now, track your domain names, track where they're registered, where they're hosted, track the expiry dates. Because again, it's very easy for you to register a domain and then suddenly you go to it and think, why is it not working? And then you realise that it's expired. And if you're really unfortunate, it'll have expired and someone else will have grabbed it because you haven't noticed. I've had that happen before, and it was a real headache. And quite a few times you actually just lose your domain. You can't get it back. So by tracking these, if you need to, put them on auto renew. Companies like Namecheap allow you to auto renew your domains every year, which basically means it just saves you all that hassle. You just click auto renew, put a credit card on file, and every time a domain renews, there you are, off you go. Some of us, we like to track our domains a bit better. I mean, I personally, none of my domain names are on auto renew. They email me every time one's coming up to expire. I can then go and have a look and go, how's that performed over the last year? If it's not performed, it gets dumped. If it has, I'll keep it. So, that way I'm not having domains I don't want being renewed because I've simply forgotten to check. So it's entirely up to you. Again, depends upon how you are and how you work. Now, you also should track your incoming and outgoing payments. Create yourself a spreadsheet. Get yourself some software, accounting software. There's plenty out there that you can use. There's plenty that are cheap and affordable. Go to your local computer store. They'll have a shelf full of them. Go and find one that meets your needs. Now, you've got to do this for a number of reasons, not least of which, of course, is the tax man. You need to track these so you know, obviously, what your cash flow is and when payments are coming in, how much you've got going out, when they're going out, so that obviously you stay in positive cash flow. But most importantly, the tax man at the end of the year is going to ask you for this information. And if you've got to spend, 2 weeks going through PayPal and ClickBank and AdSense and Kindle, Amazon and all this to try and work out what money's come in and then try and work out what money's going out, it's going to be a headache. So get yourself a spreadsheet, get yourself some accounting software, track everything that comes in and out. Get yourself those plastic pockets that go into ring binders. Get yourself 12 of those. Every month, you print out your spreadsheet of your incoming and outgoing payments. You put all the receipts into that plastic folder. You put it into a binder. You put it somewhere safe. The next month, you repeat that. And that way, every single month, all your receipts are in one place, so you know exactly what incoming and outgoing payments you've got. You know everything you've got to do for the tax man, and it's just a quick case. At the end of the year, you click a few buttons, summarize a couple of things, your tax things are ready. You can send it off to the tax man, and you're not spending several weeks sweating over it and wondering what payments came in and what payments went out. It just makes your life a lot easier. It makes you a lot more efficient. And yeah, you may think, oh, it sounds a bit nerdy or, something like that. But at the end of the day, it saves you time. And time is one thing you can never, ever get back or buy more of. Now, if you want to succeed online, you've got to be organised. It's so easy for us to end up messing around and wasting time while we look for a password or we try and remember where we saved something. Get yourself organised and you'll be a lot more productive. You're going to be much more efficient. And that, in turn, is going to help make sure that you actually really do get to where you want to be online. Without organisation, you are going to struggle. You really are. You're going to be inefficient. You're going to be unproductive. You're going to just end up wasting time. And you're not going to get where you want to. If you're organised, you'll get there and you'll get there quick. Every business needs to be organised, not just internet marketing. And those businesses, even the bricks and mortars businesses that aren't organised, they often fail. The ones that are organised, where everyone, it works like a nicely sort of smoothly oiled machine, those are the ones that succeed and do really, really well. And that's where you want to be. So get yourself organised. Follow the information we're giving you here. Get yourself organised, and you're going to find you're going to be a lot more productive, which is going to get you to success incredibly quickly compared to someone who isn't well organised.